Formula One racing in Austin has come to a screeching halt and might not rev up again until 2013.
This news comes after the head of F1, Bernie Ecclestone, moved up the deadline for organizers of the Austin race to reach a deal. KXAN's Josh Hinkle has been following these latest developments and joins us now after hearing from the man who brought the race to Austin in the first place. Josh?
That's right. That's Tavo Hellman, the man behind the Grand Prix dream here in Austin. Well, he spoke out at the Austin Club tonight, saying that it all boils down to the fact that developers couldn't meet their financial obligation with F1. So that means, for now, this project will stay on hold. As bulldozers pull out of the F1 construction site in southeast Travis County, there's word next year is not the year Austin will see the Grand Prix race through town. Today, Ecclestone told the AP it's all very simple. They don't have the money.
I wonder if we're going to see nose damage onto Michael Schumacher's car.
With the possible race still too far away and the idea that Austin might not be the only track in the U.S. in the near future, the state appeared hesitant in giving money to the project, at least for now.
So in that sense, it is disappointing. I think it's a hit to our local economy.
Jack Miller, who handles real estate near the site, said workers, developers, and other investors are all playing the waiting game.
There's been no final announcement, and there's still speculation that the F1 project will continue, and so everybody's kind of waiting to see how this plays out.
The Motorsports Council will finalize next year's F1 races next month, but Ecclestone says the Circuit of Americas, the Austin arm of this project, needs to reach a deal by the end of next week. Now that group's president seems to be backing away from a start next year, saying 2013 certainly allows time for the Circuit of Americas to be ready. As for Tavo Hellman, the man who brought F1 to Austin in the first place,
there's a lot of hope. I mean, the track is you know, halfway built, and there's a solution. I mean, Mr. Ecclestone and FOM get their money, and there's a Grand Prix next November.
developers also say it's too soon to know what's going to happen to workers out there or to the site itself until an agreement is in place. By the way, that means there's a lot left up in the air. For now, we are live in downtown Austin. Josh Hinkle, KXAN News.
Thanks, Josh. Tavo Hellman did clear up one rumor today that the original contract for the Austin race was specifically for Austin. He could not take it to another market. But finding the funds is still an issue. And who is responsible for paying the initial $25 million sanctioning fee to Bernie Ecclestone? Now, there will likely be penalties after this year. Hellman admitted there were fundamental differences between his vision and that of the investors, headed by Bobby Epstein. AutoWeek motorsports analyst Stephen Cole-Smith says they'll have to repair their relationship with F1 and Ecclestone if they hope to move forward.
So it comes down to Tavo or Bobby, and I think Bobby has shown that he doesn't really understand how Formula One works very well, and very few people do. It's not a sport like any other. It's not a democracy. It's not anything that makes a lot of sense business-wise. It's a guy that you have to please, and either he gives you a race or he doesn't. And I'm not sure that with some of the things Bobby has done, Bernie inclined to think too favorably of that.
Well, the same day it was announced construction was halted at the site, State Controller Susan Combs sent out a release stating the millions in taxpayer dollars would not be given out until the actual races begin. We sat down today with her a few hours ago, in fact, to discuss her concerns about it.
What was concerning us was we've been reading in the press, like you had, that there were investor issues, that we weren't sure what the economic effect was going to be about New Jersey, which we would of course want to look at, and then the fact that there had been some potential slowdowns on the construction itself. And that really put us in the position of going back to the statute and saying, you know, it's discretionary to send it in advance.
Tonight on KXAN News at 10 o'clock, Controller Combs breaks down how her decision will protect Texas taxpayers and the big difference between the deal with Texas and the one with New Jersey.